what's going on? I have decided to go ahead and attempt to put some rod holders in this little boat. Now, I'm not going to use PVC. What I've got is golf tubes. This is what goes in a golf bag. You slide your golf clubs in it. Not that I know anything about golf. I've never played a round of golf in my life. But they are almost the exact same size as the PVC I used, and they're black, so you don't have to worry about the paint flaking off of them. And they already kind of have this little flared out end on it. So they're 1.5 inches diameter. So I'm going to try and get them to work. The only downfall to these is they're not very long, and I believe that where these are going to end up and where the butt of my rods are going to go, that the rod tips will extend some, and that gives you a risk of catching one of your eyelets on the edge. I might try to figure out some way to extend these, maybe with some PVC or something, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. 'Cause I don't even know if this is going to work, to be honest with you. And the reason I say that is because I want to do 3, and that's the reason I didn't know if I was actually going to do this project on the boat or not, because I feel like 2 wouldn't be worth it. But I ended up making a template, and you see how close these are together. I just took a piece of cardboard, got the same angle on the seats, and then traced out where the holes are going to go, and put a little hole in the very middle of all 3 of them. And I've already went ahead and put my template up where it goes, and took a Sharpie and marked the center of each hole. So all I got left to do now is drill them out. Now what I'm going to do is drill all the way through this seat, and I don't think I'll need anything extra to support the tubes on the front of the boat, because it's going to be supported by both ends of the seat, and these seats have foam in them, so that'll be extra support. But the thing about it is drilling all the way through the seats, and what I come up with that was a bit extension. I had to order this on Amazon. I think it was like 16 or 17 bucks. I picked one up from Lowe's, but it was a 1/4 inch, and obviously that didn't work. The end of this is like, it's like a weird size. I think it's rated at 3/8, but it's a little smaller than that. So it's what I ended up getting. I think they actually called this like an auger extension or something like that, but it's 12 inches long, which you got to put some of that inside your drill, so you lose a little bit, but then you also gain some on this. And it looks like, laying it up here, that it's going to be just long enough to get all the way through, and hopefully I can stay halfway square and as I'm drilling through this thing and not mess up too bad. Now what problem I'm going to run into is, you know, it's only going to go as deep as this hole saw is, you know, before it bottoms out on the styrofoam. So I'll have to do like however deep this is, like 2 inches at a time, and then try to use something to break up that piece of styrofoam, dig it out, and then start drilling again. So hopefully while doing all that, I can keep my line halfway straight and hopefully knock this project out. Let's get to it. Alright, so that was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. That styrofoam, I don't know, it's probably asbestos or something, knowing my luck, but I guess because it's old, it's kind of just giving away and just pushing through, and I only had to clean it out twice. So alright, let's slide that one out and hopefully knock these other two out. I just hope they don't get too close together where they don't fit. That's my main concern. Alright, that went pretty good. Get me maybe some zip ties or something and kind of tie them all together. Not that it really matters, I kind of like them to be out of the way a little bit for a little extra storage space. A whole lot easier than doing it the other way. But like I said, the main hang up is they're not exactly long enough. Now, a lot of that is this application. Now, it's just because I have a short span between my seats, so these golf tubes might work good for you, or even be too long if you have a wider gap between where your rods, the butt of the rods, are going to rest and where they actually go in. So measure it, and I'll put it up on here. I'll measure these and let y'all know how long they are. Now I have to figure out what to do on this end. I've got some scrap aluminum. I'm not exactly sure how to tie it in. I guess if all else fails, I can build a little quick box or something like I did on the last boat. It don't have to be anything fancy, but we need to have something. So let me scratch my head a little bit, and got to clean up this mess y'all made. I've been messing around with several different options on this back part, and what I'm working with now is this. What this is a foam pad like this. I had one that I had cut up, and I just had some scraps, and what I did was cut out one that fits in here and then used it as a template. Now I have me 3 of them, and what I plan on doing is trying to take this template and mark my 3 holes, and take these outer 2 and drill some kind of circle in it somehow, I guess with a hole saw, and I guess use some kind of glue to glue them all together and glue them in place. Now, this isn't the best looking thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to try and clean up this rough edge a little bit somehow, make it look a little better. But the thing about it is just it's lightweight and it's fairly easy to do, and I think it's going to work good. And I'm trying to do this boat as cheap as possible. I mean, I definitely could have took some aluminum and made a box, but I don't know, I don't want to go overkill on this build. So this is just some scrap, and I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. So hopefully this works out, and maybe give somebody an idea. Maybe you got something laying around, maybe it's not this, maybe something similar, and give you an idea of what to work with. So let me go ahead and try to drill these holes out and see if this little ugly project will actually work or not. Ooh, it's gonna be messy. Alright. Well, I'm thinking maybe need to test that with a rod to see how good it really fits, but I might need to do this one maybe a little bit smaller to give it a snug fit when the rods go in there. Let me test that out real quick and then make a decision. Yeah, my rods go in here easy and it's loose, but it's a decent fit. But I think I'm gonna do this other one. That was 1.5 inches, and I think I'm gonna do this back piece 1 1/4. So go ahead and swap these out, drill these holes out, and start to glue them together. All right, so I got my holes drilled, 1 1/4 and 1 1/2, and I think the way I'm gonna attach this stuff is liquid nails, just because I have this thing of liquid nails. So I think it's gonna work. So I'm just gonna start layering it up, and hopefully it'll just stick. And if it don't, you know, I'll try something else. I'm gonna get a glove for this. Alright, we'll let that sit up and hopefully it'll cure. And then I'll go over these seams with like some black silicone and try to smooth it out so where it don't look so rough. And I think that's going to be good. Hopefully. My only concern is that liquid nails is kind of old, so I hope it hardens up. And if not, I'm going to have to go to plan B. But I think it's going to work. Alright, so the liquid nails seem to hold it up pretty good, and I went ahead and smeared some black RTV silicone on the top of it and the side just to kind of make it look a little bit cleaner, because this thing ain't about to win no beauty pageants, that's for sure, but it is effective and it was easy to do. So like I always say, you know, I don't expect anybody to do everything exactly like I do, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll be the first to say. I just want to throw stuff out there and maybe help give you an idea of what you could use with stuff that you have laying around. I tidied up the front of it a little bit with some zip ties. That way the tubes aren't just flopping around everywhere. And I also put a little bead of silicone around the back side of the tubes where they're going through the bench, just to try to help hold everything together. But yeah, this is a whole lot easier rod storage than the last boat build I did. Like I said, it's not going to win any awards for style concept, but it is effective, and that's all I'm really going for on this boat for stuff like that. I want everything to be lightweight as possible, and that was key with this thing. So, well, all right. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.